What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hold the Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry DeRine. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Bavo. What's good with you?
Not much. Looking forward to this great episode
tonight. But make sure you're following us on TikTok as well as subscribe to us on YouTube at Hold the Husband Podcast. And if any businesses is interested in a promotion or anything like that, shoot us a DM or email us at hoetohusbandpodcast@gmail.com.
I also got my man SD. What's good, man?
Nothing, man. Chilling. Excited about this particular episode here, that's for sure. So I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold the Husband Podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on the core94.com. Tonight's episode is titled X-Rated. We're going to be having a real candid discussion about what it's like to work in the porn industry and how that impacts a woman's dating life afterwards. So we're all looking forward to that discussion. But y'all know how we do it around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen on our timelines or things that have gone trending. So this first post that I wanted to talk about, it was a post that I actually reposted on my page, and it got quite a unexpected reaction from a lot of guys. So there's an African soccer player. His wife filed for divorce and discovered that all of his wealth was actually in his mother's name. To me, that is very, very deceitful. You know what I mean? Like, now I understand. We know divorce is very unfair to men. A lot of women try to come up off of men, etc. But to me, I just don't understand how a man worth millions of dollars could have a wife that has his kids and leave and not want to give her anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that just contradicts what manhood is about to me. What y'all think of that?
Man, I didn't think it was deceitful at all, man. I think it was smart, me personally. She was only married to him for 3 years, bro. He was a millionaire soccer player before she met him. He's protecting his assets. Like, hey, you ain't gonna get half my money, but I can still take care of my kids. I can still take care of my kids and give you money or whatever the case. To me, this man is a genius. He's the goat of goats. He go and he do this. Like, hey man, whatever.
So you're fine with it as long as he provides for his kids?
Absolutely, I'm fine with it. She only been around 3 years.
Well, yeah,
you've been around 3 years.
Well, see, I'm not advocating that she deserved half or nothing even close to that.
That's what she asked for.
I know she don't deserve that by far, but she deserves something. Like, I don't see how any man that's making money to take care. I mean, the money to take care of the kids. What you just said.
The kids deserve something. So his child support he'll pay for his kids. If she can live off of it, cool. If not, forget her. Give them to the kid. Give the kids to the daddy if she ain't got no money. Get the kids to the daddy if she ain't got no money. Forget her. She was there 3 years. He was a millionaire already when she got there. And now she leaving after 3 years and won't have, man. Forget her.
So in that situation, you don't think a prenuptial agreement should have been discussed? Because at least with a prenup, you're the part that I have an issue with is the lack of transparency. Like, it's not, nobody expects a dude to have all this stuff in his mom's name. And so to be married and to not disclose something like that, to me, that's just as deceitful as the stuff we talk about women doing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man,
like,
did she disclose she was going?
She thought she was going.
Did she disclose she was going try to divorce him after 3 years to get half of his stuff? Nope. I'm sure this is something he had put in place before she even got there. They only been married 3 years. He been doing this for all this time with his mom, his property, his cars, his money, his paychecks going over in his mom's name, and he's just a secondary on the account. This been going on before she got there. Now you come in 3 years later, and I got to disclose everything to you? No, if you here for the long haul, you'll get your share. I'll add you in, but until then, forget you.
But I mean,
Forget you. You living good.
What do you think, Jay?
If you get married, don't two become one here? So shouldn't you disclose that? I mean,
it ain't his. It's his mom.
Well, yeah, I mean, but so you don't think when two people get married they should discuss their finances?
Yeah, she know he a millionaire. She know he a millionaire.
Technically, he's not.
Whatever.
But
he living good.
Well, I think we're all in agreement that the guy should have to just take care of his kids. She shouldn't be entitled to millions and millions of dollars. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that the way that it's presented, like I got almost like we know dudes that I ain't gonna work because I ain't paying no child support. You know what I'm saying? Like
Losers.
To where So to me, a guy that blocks off to where, and as long as he's doing the right thing on his own, then it's all good. But the way that the story is presented, like he just got it to where like I ain't got nothing, I'm broke. If that's the
legally
what? Yeah, I was gonna say if that's how he's coming and he's like I ain't paying shit, that's foul to me.
Not me, man. Forget her. It ain't foul to me, bro. I'm all for it. Do it.
So in a divorce, what do you think would be a fair amount for her if he has to give her anything?
3 years in a relationship, nothing. Go with what you came with. Bye. Bye. You filed. Yeah. She filed for divorce, not him.
Well, sometimes that's not a fair statement though, because sometimes a person justifiably files for divorce.
Life ain't fair.
Life ain't fair with it.
Yeah, I was shocked that there are so many guys that feel like SD that are that strong, because it's like I can understand a man that has a very limited amount of money. How your money's allocated matters a lot more. A man that is worth several $1 million giving his wife something is not a big deal to me. Especially if she has essentially to provide a lifestyle for the kids. Like what I would personally do in that situation, he could easily just set up a trust for the kids and allow her to live in the house while the kids or minors, something to that, you know what I'm saying, where he sets a sum of money to make sure that his kids grow up straight. So cool.
But you gotta get a job, beloved. You gotta get a job. You ain't finna live off me. You asked to leave me. You filed the paperwork to leave me in 3 years, knowing I was a millionaire in the beginning. And I don't know why she filed for divorce, but she filed for divorce.
He was accused, from what people were saying in my comments, the dude was accused of sexual assault or something like that.
Okay.
And that's what sparked it. So
accused is different from convicted. So we don't know exactly why, but if you're gonna leave your husband because of an accusation, forget you. Get out of here. Bye.
See,
bye. I ain't giving you nothing.
I personally, I don't think the reason. Well, I'll take that back. We know that there are gold diggers that'll try to just marry a guy, like the chicks that'll refuse the prenup and all that. I'm just an advocate for being fair and reasonable. A guy that's worth several millions of dollars, like I said, you can set up a trust, buy a house for the kids, and allow the wife to live in it. That's more than fair. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's all. But a lot of guys were in my comments, Terry, you sipping, and Terry, I'm like, whoa, dog, chill out. I ain't never said no simp shit. I ain't never said nothing that's unreasonable or unrealistic. And I don't think it's unreasonable to think that a guy that's worth multi-millions can provide something for the household where his kids are at. I guess maybe it's the wording. I was gonna say maybe it's the guy's wording, thinking that it's just the woman taking the money, but no, I meant like providing a household for your children.
Well, you said give something to the wife.
I mean, but she's the one she's the head of the household that your kids are in.
I don't care what she is.
Like,
I don't care what she is.
That's an emotional response to it. Like,
no, it's not.
The child support's gonna go to the wife, so she's gonna be the one spending the money.
Deal with that. But it's child support. It's for the kids. I'm not giving you no alimony. I'm not giving you no lump sum out of my account. When you say for the wife, That's what I'm talking about. The child support is for the kids.
That
Whatever you
gotta
do
be
with it.
what caused the reaction.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, for sure. Whatever you do with the money that I give you for the kids, if he give her $50,000 a month for the kids, and out of that she can get a nice home or whatever. Cool, do whatever. Go get your hair done, go on a trip, do whatever it is you want to do with it. I don't care. But I'm not gonna give you $100,000 a month for being my wife for 3 years. Forget you.
All right.
You file for divorce.
We're in agreement on that.
That's what we said.
Yeah. No,
Of course, he got to take care of his kids now. But that woman, as a default, because he's rich and he got to take care of his kids, she's gonna benefit from it. That's all she get. That's all she wrote. Beat it.
Yeah. All right. That's a better way of breaking it down. Let's keep things rolling, man. This next post I wanted to talk about. This is something that came out back in 2020. When word of R&B or singer Marcus Houston getting married came out a couple of years ago. He ended up marrying a girl, a 19-year-old. Let's take a look at him, listen to him explaining it.
Our situation is a little different, you know, how we met, you know, through mutual friends and everything like that. You know, when I met my wife, she was 17. So, you know, we had no really conversation and no really connection until, you know, she was of age. And, you know, people don't understand it. And I got a lot of backlash for marrying someone that was 19. And, you know, when we did finally start to talk, I was like, this woman is like me. And she was just like, when I would talk to her, she just, for one, we had a spiritual connection. And I feel like that's the most important thing. We both love God. We both love Jehovah. And that was key. And being able to start being around her and talking to her and talking to, like, we got it. We connected through music. And, you know, her spirit, her kindness, her heart reminds me a lot of my.
All right, man. It sounds like he was talking in a bunch of kind of vague, kind of cliche. We just connected. We love God. It sounds like BS to me. I don't think a man is ever going to be able to really give me the buy-in that a man that's 38 years old is connected to a 19-year-old who has not experienced being an adult. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you can be physically attracted to them and sexually attracted to one, but I really don't see what type of connection a man can have with a woman half of his age. So to me, that's something that's a major red flag. Like, if one of my homies pulled up with a teenager, I'm definitely going to be questioning you and looking at you side-eyed. So this sounds like BS to me. What y'all think?
I personally wouldn't do it. For me personally, I think that's too young, right? And me and him right around the same age. But for me personally, that's too young for me. But at the same time, I don't have a problem with him marrying a chick that's 19. He said they met when she was 17. They didn't start talking till she was 18, and then they got married when she was 19. Listen, if it was my daughter, I'd rather that than to be a part of the 45% of our women, black women, that's single moms by the age of 19. I'd rather she be that than to be part of the 70% out of wedlock baby rate out of all of our women. I'd rather she be married to a much older man and still married to this day and be happy, because you know what? If she was 18 and she decided to start an OnlyFans and show her booty hole, they congratulate her and say she was a free queen that can do what she wants. If she decided to go dance on a stripper pole, they'd say, hey, that's her life. She's grown. She can do what she want to do. If she want to show her booty
I don't
hole,
think that's ever a question about whether she can do what she wants. We know that women are historically attracted to older men, but it's the predatorial kind of situation of it where you're a celebrity, you're much older, and you're rich. So all those things put you in a position to be able to, you should, in theory, be able to get a woman of 25, 28.
You don't think he could? I'm sure he could.
I said,
no,
yeah.
He could.
So exactly. So the fact that he could, but you choose someone that much younger, to me, that's the issue. You know what I mean? Like
I mean,
damn, bro.
I mean, he's 20 years. He's 20 years that woman's seen. I mean, he old enough to be her father. Shit.
Yeah,
he is.
You know, Esty
for sure.
brought a very good perspective on that. Like, I would be in agreement to that. Like, I'd rather her be married to somebody 20 years of scene as opposed to being a single mother or busting it wide open on.
That's a good poll question, bro. That's a good poll question. Because I never even would have thought about it. The way you presented it, like, I guess the better of two evils.
Because almost the overwhelming majority, or the majority of our women are single moms, man. Almost 50% by that age, 45%. I take being married to an older man. I mean, I get it that the circumstances might be a little off because he's older. He met her when she was 17, whatever the case. Like I said, for me personally, I wouldn't do it. But if you're looking at it in the full spectrum of what's going on out here with our women and young girls, like, it's men in the clubs watching them shake their booty holes and titties all over that 60 and 70 years old, putting dollars in their G-string, and people telling them that they queens, in charge of their own body, in charge of their own lives. But when a man that's an older man come to you and he's actually serious, and he's like, yo, I want to marry you, and did put it out there and actually did it, and still married to this day before he had a baby with her, I'd take that all day for my daughter. Would I have some reserves about it? Like, bro, you're 20 years older than her. Of course, I'd look at it some type of way, but I'd rather that than the other thing.
That makes sense.
That makes a whole lot of sense. In my opinion, I don't think this looks age appropriate. Like Terry said, if he's got somebody that's, say, 25, 26, 27, I think that's a bit more age appropriate there in that situation than somebody who's 19 and you're almost 40 years old.
Yeah. I mean,
it's rough.
You're right, because that got to be awkward. She doing TikToks and you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. She's 18, bro. Like, my daughter's a teenager, so it's even hard for me to be like, that's, even though by law there are women. You know, I was in the military at 17, so I guess it's kind of hypocritical because when I was 17, I had smashed some adults. So I get it. I know age is just a number or whatnot, but I've always, a guy that is targeting a woman that much younger to him, to me, that's usually an indicator of something else going on behind the scenes.
Man, you know, I don't like to like with stuff like this, because I see a lot. Like, I've seen the post, and I'm looking at a lot of these here women that wish somebody would marry them, and they hate me. Is the circumstances off? Okay, it might be off a little bit. Cool. I personally wouldn't do it, like I said, but hating on it when these here people are still married. They congratulate a 17, 18-year-old single mom and say, oh, she looks so beautiful. You look so beautiful. You don't need no man. Do it on your own. But when somebody get married, go ahead.
I want to expand on the point you just made. Think about it like this. Let's just say it was the other way around. Let's just say it's a woman that's 39 years old, married,
what they gonna do?
Kid. They would congratulate her. They'd be like, "Yeah, girl, go ahead and get them young boy. You know, you still got it." Blah blah blah.
But you know what? Yeah. When I was in high school, and I know you all know this too, it was women in high school getting picked up by 28-year-olds, 30-year-olds. Yeah. All these here women that's got an issue with her getting married or him getting this girl. All of them had older men. All of them like older men now. Most women marry 7 years their senior. That's like an average. They like older men. Just talk to the women.
Yeah,
exactly.
But when it's a dude, in the flip
they're
side,
stable. Yeah,
of course. But when a man say that he like younger women, he might not even put an age to it. The one guy that was on
Hardly Initiated.
He said he liked women in their 20s, right? They gave this man hell. They talked about his teeth. They talked about everything on him because they ain't nobody picking them now. It's only the bitter ones that can't get the types of men that they want, that got something to say about it, because these young girls coming up and men like younger women, and they done waited too long being hoes, being city girls and doing whatever they want to do out here and don't wore themselves out, and I don't nobody want to marry them. So now they mad at the men for preferring younger women. Man, forget them, man. Do your thing.
Yeah, well, they have a negative reaction to any preference that men have.
That a man has.
Yeah, so anytime, any conversation where men are talking about what they don't like about women or the type of women they do like, there are always going to be women that have a problem with it. Whereas men, a woman talking about, he got to be 6'6". I couldn't care less. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 6 feet. I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't meet your criteria, I don't get in most guys don't get in their feeling, or at least guys that are emotionally stable don't get in their feelings or respond negatively to that. Look like we up against the clock, y'all. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be getting into our topic of the night, X-rated, where we're going to be talking about life in the porn industry and how that impacts a woman's dating life. Y'all are tuned in to the Ho to Husband podcast, and we'll be back in a moment. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read, or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho to Husband podcast. Tonight's episode is titled X-Rated, and we got our special guest on for the night. We got Naya on the line. What's going on, Naya? How you doing?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Oh, we doing all right. We appreciate you taking the time to come chop it up with us. We're real interested to get your insight and perspective on things. Before we get into the conversation, can you let the audience know who you are, a little bit about your background?
Well, I'm formerly known as Ivani Soleil, and I was in the adult industry from 2009 to 2013. And now I am a lot of things. A mom, for one, and just kind of like going through a journey of healing and coming out of trauma and kind of sharing that journey with everyone else.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're healing and things are getting better for you. We wanted to start off by asking you, so how'd you initially get drawn into the industry? How'd you get exposed to it?
I was doing some modeling at the time, and an agent had contacted me from my information I had online, and he basically told me that he liked my look and that if I was willing to fly to LA and if he can get me a job, that I can consider staying, or if I don't, I can leave. And I took him up on that offer. I flew to LA, and that night I had got a job in on and on, after that.
Okay, so you didn't dance or anything before that?
No.
Did you have some reserves, or did you feel weird about flying out to LA to see this guy that you didn't really know like that, or it was kind of like, hey, you was just...
It did feel weird, but I did, gather his information and gave it to someone that I knew, would look out for me if I gone missing or if I wasn't answering or anything like that.
So you knew he was like part of the porn industry before you went?
Yes, I did look him up. I looked up his agency. I looked him up, and I verified that he was who he said he was.
I got you. Okay. So what is dating like for you as a woman that worked in the adult industry?
Dating, I can't say dating is bad. I guess for myself, it's just out of all, like, because of all of my past relationships. For me, dating now is whether or not I can trust myself enough to um, be vulnerable in a relationship. Um, I can't say, I mean, I feel like I've had the same type of relationship issues as any other woman. I've dealt with,
Hmm.
guys that gaslight and not done running around and doing them or whatever the case may be. Um, I dealt with a lot of, I want to hold on to you, but I still want to do me people. So, I don't
Typical.
want you to go anywhere, but I want to go into, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it hasn't been any, I feel like of my friend group, and I'm the only one that has ever done the work that I've done, but of my friend group, I feel like my dating life has been less problematic than my friends, to be honest.
Hmm.
So, do the guys that you
Yeah.
date know about your past work, or
Um,
does that come up? How does that work?
yeah. When I'm talking to someone, I like to be honest and upfront. I don't like there to ever be like a surprise type of situation. I like to be the one to let you know my information and what I have going on. So I like to give the person a choice of whether or not to deal with that or not. So I like to get that out the way at the
That's
beginning, to
real.
be honest.
That's good.
That's what's
Gotta
up.
respect that.
How
Absolutely.
did that conversation?
Jason come up? Do you talk to him about on their first initial date?
Um, Usually I mean, usually within the first week, probably, yeah, but probably not on the first date. But yes, through the first week, if they make it that far, then yeah, I will let them know, about that.
So while you were working in the
And
industry, were I've heard people talk about. So did you have were you in relationships while you were in the industry, or how does that dynamic work?
I was in I was in one relationship, yes.
And
I
so
I met
the
him when I
guy,
first got to LA. Mhm.
no, I was gonna say, was there issues? Did
Okay.
it create any problems with the relationship? Did he have a problem with it? How does what was the
Oh yes.
dynamic like?
Oh,
Because we all seen
certainly.
Players Club
Yeah.
how Lance had a problem with Diamond after a minute.
Hmm.
Well, yeah. He initially a- he had to ask me 3 times to be in a relationship with him because I didn't want to. I knew that it's not possible to be with someone while you're in that type of industry. It's just not a thing, unless that person is also in the industry,
He's in it too.
or it's open relationship type thing. So
Hmm.
I kept telling him no because I just didn't want to deal with that. Finally, I gave in, and we did, be in the relationship. But eventually, when I guess his feelings got a bit stronger, he started to realize that he couldn't handle it, and which led to him ultimately cheating on me
So
because he felt like I was cheating.
yeah, I was gonna say I would imagine for a guy that would be a lot of pressure because a lot of guys ask, "What's the biggest guy you ever been with?" or things of that nature. So
Yes.
the idea of dealing with very large men, I think would cause a lot of guys to have some insecurities. Is that accurate?
Um, yeah. I've had guys compare their length. I've had guys compare how long they could last. I've had I've had some very
Yeah,
strange
you
comparisons when it comes to that.
there?
So did
So, quick question. So, do you think
Yeah.
so being in that industry, do you think
Hmm.
that the size of the different men has affected how you prefer your men now?
No. Um,
No.
it, Nothing, in my opinion, nothing about the industry affects my love life now or my sex life or whatever now. Um, for me, when it comes to sexual situations, it's very mental.
Mhm.
So It doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's all about how I feel about you and our connection. That's all that matters to me.
So is, in other words, are you saying size don't matter because of the mental?
It does not. It does not matter.
So
It doesn't
basically,
matter.
I was just gonna ask you. So basically, like everything that you've done in the past, as far as being in the industry, you're putting all that behind. You basically just put all that behind you.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask just your personal preference, as someone that's been, are the men in the industry better pussy eaters too, or do they just blessed to have size? We need to.
To be perfectly honest, they are not. The men in the industry, most of them, very few that I got to shoot with, were cared about the woman's pleasure. They don't care about the woman's pleasure. It's all about what looks good for the camera, and usually, yeah, they're putting on. So it's not, honestly, for me, it was nothing pleasurable about it.
Really?
Nothing.
Yes.
I mean, I always thought it would be like pressure because there's other people in the room and lights and equipment and stuff like that. But me personally, I always liked, so the conversations that they be having before the scenes, that don't never be real. Because that was always my favorite part.
When I got on set, I went to my dressing room. I got my makeup done and my hair done. I put on whatever outfit it is that they wanted me to put on. Literally walked out of the room and got straight to work. There was no conversation. It wasn't no flirting. It wasn't no nothing.
Hey,
and once,
you're doing?
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Was it enjoyable, or did you have to make a mental to yourself to make it more enjoyable?
Yeah, I was say y'all don't get y'all don't ain't no. I mean, is it real? Foreplay's not a thing.
I mean, for me personal, like how the film started as on you guys' end is how it starts. Like, it's all really an act. They're telling you, okay, I want you to moan like this. Okay, do this. Like, so it's literally them walking you through everything. Okay, you guys are going to do this for 5 minutes. I want you to do it at this angle for 5 minutes, and then I want you to stop. And then we're going to switch positions, and then we're going to do it like that for 5 minutes, and then we're going to stop, and then we're going to switch positions, and then we're going to do the cum shot. Like, it's literally like that.
No different than Hollywood. You exposing the secrets here.
Well, yeah, I guess that makes sense because I found that the best porn is the I guess it's called amateur camera phone recorded porn.
It is.
Yeah, those it's real. You really see what kind of panties she had on
because it's real.
In the car. Yeah. So I was gonna say,
it's real.
Why do you think the idea of sex on camera is so exciting to so many people? What do you think it is about that?
Well, from my experience and people close to me, Jeff, because most things that people watch are things that they either don't do or things that they want to but are too afraid to do. I just had a conversation with a friend, and she was telling me like what type of stuff she watches, and it was like totally like blew my mind, because I'm like, I just don't see that for you. But that goes to, stuff that people want to but will never do. And I guess, just to see it, I guess sparks something in most people and it turns them on. But
so what's like one of the wildest things you've seen while on a porn set, or they ask you to do, or something like that, where you was like, man, this is crazy?
I was on set, and this chick, I was watching someone else's scene was before mine, and it was like maybe about 6 or 7 guys, and they were all just on her at the same time, DP, everything, and then in her mouth, and it was just a lot. It was a lot going on, and it was very rough, and I was like,
He said no. He said that's too much.
Yeah, you got your limits and whatnot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So see, I guess I always imagined that the sex scene went good, and then y'all exchange numbers and y'all link up, offset. Does that happen?
No.
And,
But as soon
really?
as they say cut, I go to my dressing room and I used to get dressed and literally grab my check and leave.
Wow.
I don't want to
Did you
be
make
friends. I don't want to link up afterward. I don't want to go out and have a drink. I just didn't want to do any of that. I wasn't interested.
Really?
so you didn't make any friends in the industry whatsoever?
The only friend that I can say I made was Imani Rose. That was my friend.
Okay.
So do you watch porn now, or what are your thoughts on looking at it now that you know how it's put together?
I don't. After knowing, no. If I do, it will definitely be amateur.
Yeah, the good shit. The
Okay.
good shit.
So what do you think about what you think about OnlyFans and the girls that and the people that's doing OnlyFans and the porn hubs and different things, the amateur stuff where it's booming now at this particular time? You got any thoughts on that?
As far as OnlyFans is concerned, as far as people that I know have been on it, I don't feel like it's worth it because like what they're charging, and I just don't feel like it's worth it. For the tube sites, I'm not sure how they like pay or anything like that. So I'm not sure how
Monetize it.
that works.
I think it's
But
like by views, like YouTube.
I hate the tube sites. Yeah, I don't like that either because it's just like for altogether, even with the industry, like I feel like you're exploiting yourself for whatever.
So
Yeah.
so the money and things, like, because everybody thinks, I know, like a lot of people think that porn stars are making astronomical amounts of money. Is it really like that? I mean, for the
Back when
majority of porn stars out there?
I was in the industry, I've made about the less I made in a scene was like 1,000.
You said the lowest amount?
Yes, that was the lowest, 1,000.
No, I got you.
What's the most you
But
made?
I'm aware. In a scene, I think it was about like 3,000.
And so when you're in the industry, like you have an agent that books you, or do people reach out to you directly?
I mean, most people go with agents, but you can also be, your own agent. And people like at first I had agents, but towards the end I was my own agent because I already had a rapport with the directors, so they would contact me directly,
Mhm.
and I didn't, it was just that way, and I actually preferred it that way.
So were there ever any guys that you were anxious to work with, or like you had a crush on or wanted to work with?
No, there was no one that I really was excited about. But there were a couple guys that I preferred to work with because I liked the way they were as individuals. Like they were, considerate and very kind.
I got you. So what made you eventually just say, you know what, I want to stop, or to go on to do something else? What made you come to that conclusion?
Well, part of it was the individual that I was dating at the time, just kind of talking to me and opening my eyes to other things to do besides being in the industry, and just kind of exploring my talents and just knowing that I was more than that. My whole, like when I got in, like my self-esteem and everything was like low, and I had,
Hmm.
just I wasn't feeling that great about myself. But as I started to change and that started to change for me, I started to realize that I could be doing more.
What,
Well, that's
what
what's
did
up. It's all.
the person that you were dating, did that compel you to change, or was it just something? Did you just have an epiphany and it's like, all right, you know what? I just don't want I need to change myself.
To be totally honest, if it wasn't for that person, I probably would have been in the industry a lot longer. Um,
Yeah, I would imagine would it get addictive, right? Like a lot of
The
dancers
money.
say you get addicted to the
I
fast
mean, yeah,
money, or
the money, yeah, the money definitely, and just for me, it was definitely the money, and the doors that open up for you, the people you get to meet, like other things too. I was able to be on Zane Sex Chronicles on HBO, and just a whole bunch of, it was just a whole bunch of other things that it will make you addicted. Like the lifestyle will make you addicted.
yeah. So when you were at your peak, how often would you work? Like, would you be doing multiple scenes per week, per month? Like, what's the typical,
At my peak, I did like 2 scenes per day.
What? You was getting the bag like that? Oh man.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was. I was expecting you to say
No.
like a good month. I did 2 or 3 scenes or something like that. Like, oh man.
So let me tell you, the way I would get my scenes booked, it wouldn't be like by guy. So if I book a scene, or if it would be like a boy girl scene, and then it'll be like a fetish scene. So it's just me by myself. It was never like back to back. Like not like that.
God.
I would strategically do it so that I'm not just getting yeah.
Cloud. Yeah. like okay, I go from this house to this house, and now I got this guy and this guy in the next day. So you like, yo, all right, you can plow me in the first half of the day, and in the second half, you only sucking my toes on this one for the second half of the day. Cool. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Coochie can only take so much, you know what I mean? It can need a break. So I get it. I understand it. Okay. I got it.
So I got a question. On my page, I've had a couple of discussions where the topic came up where we talked about kissing during sex. I personally, that was too intimate. I smash a chick, but I gotta really like a woman to be tongue kissing and all that. What are your thoughts on sex versus intimacy like that?
I'm the same. If I'm not into you, I'm not kissing you. But also, if I'm not into you, I'm not having sex with you either. So, before then, me and now me is totally different. For me now, I'm not just jumping in with you at all. It'd have to be some time for us to get to know each other so we can have that connection. Because if I don't have that connection to you, she's not even going to work for you. So, yeah.
If I can't suck her tongue, I ain't hitting her either. I want to be face to face and look you in your eyes. And if I can't do that and suck your tongue and bottom lip, get out. I don't want nothing to do with you.
Man, that causes a lot of problems, man. Catching feelings.
I know, trust me. Because
ideally that does make it better, but I learned that chicks think you love them when you fuck them like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey
you,
man,
you
whatever.
Intertwining their hands and doing little stuff.
I'm just sucking your toes. Like I can't do it without sucking your toes, sweetheart. This is just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it is. So, hey man, if that make you think you in love, but now, like I said, like she said, like when I was in my whole phase, hey man, whatever. But now, like I want to be into it with you. You know what I'm saying? To where I ain't gotta worry about none of this other nonsense. If I can't kiss you and suck your toes, I can't deal with you. Like that's just not going. You can't get. Right. You ain't got nothing to do. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that everybody kind of goes through that once you get older and you mature. You got to be more selective with who you're giving your time and energy to. Plus the repercussions of sex, kids and all that come up. Well,
not when you have a vasectomy. Not when you have a vasectomy, okay? You have all the cream pies you want, but I wouldn't recommend it. Don't do it, fellas. Don't do it.
Be like my cousin, team no pull out.
Trey, I also, man,
Yeah,
I gotta rely on your pullout game.
you still gotta be careful with what you do. You know what I'm saying? That's for a steady girlfriend or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Not just in your randoms you hitting out here. Be careful. Trust me.
All right, now well, it looks like we up against the clock. See, you got some mommy duties to take care of. We want to thank you again for coming on the podcast. Before we get up out of here, I want to give a shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background audio. And I want to remind everybody to donate to the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. Jay and SD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get an episode knocked out. And Naya, we really enjoyed the conversation. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Bye. Have a good one.